Welcome back to Talking Hip Hop. I'm your host, JustKeekz, and in this episode, I have one of my friends joining me to help me review and critique the Meek Mill Championship album. And later on the show, we have the owner of the Kandle Bar coming by to talk more about her business, so you don't want to miss this. Thank you for tuning in to Talking Hip Hop. Here with me is Kyle Ruthland. Kyle is an independent film producer and director, and he's also worked on a number of different films. For those who aren't familiar with his work, I highly suggest you go check it out. I will leave his channel name right here. And I'll also go as far as showing you a little preview of Kyle's latest short film right now.
You can't go. Next. So, Tom, I'm not really on the ball team, fam. Tom, cut that, fam.
Intense, right? So that was Kyle's latest short film. For those who are interested, I will leave the link in the description box below for you to check out. Let's just jump straight into this because we have a lot to unpack here. On November 30th, 2018, the Philly rapper and Maybach music artist Meek Mill released his album Championships. So Kyle, what were your initial thoughts when you first heard the Championship album? Like, what was going on through your mind?
My first initial thoughts was, I don't know if this is better than Wins and Losses, because Wins and Losses is probably my favorite album of all time, and that was his last album.
Yeah.
But it was pretty good, in my opinion. I liked it. When I first listened to it, I had to listen to it like 3 times. I liked all the tracks, really.
Do you think that Meek, when he creates his music, is he targeting specifically black males, or is he like making music for everyone to listen to?
I guess when he first started off, he's always rapping about the streets, his environment, how he grew up and whatnot. And then, after he went to jail and went through the whole prison reformment, his music kind of changed a little bit to he's more conscious. So now I say, instead of like saying, all the lit stuff, sometimes he'll have a message.
He's one of the very few rappers in this generation that tells a story. Like,
Right.
Do you agree with me? Because there's a different sound with the new school rappers, like the mumble rappers, and then rappers that actually tell a story. Do you think that Meek classifies as a new school rapper, or could he kind of classify in like the old school genre?
Well, he definitely doesn't classify as a mumble rapper.
Yeah.
I would say to classify him, you would have to count him in as a top 5 artist right now. So,
what's your favorite song off the album?
I have 3 favorite songs. I would say Respect the Game.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Stuck in My Ways, and Cold Hearted Part 2.
Do you have any critiques or biases about the album, and what do you think that Meek could have done differently?
The album was good. The album was solid. What I would have wanted maybe is another Future feature. This one, he had one Future one with Roddy Ricch and Young Thug, but like, if he had like, say, just a song with just him and Future, I feel like that would have been pretty good.
So like, what do you rate this album out of 10?
A solid 9.5.
9.5, that's really high. Why do you think that?
Oh, it's
That's
good.
close
Like,
to perfect.
to me, it was good. I wouldn't say 10 because Wins and Losses to me was a 10, and that's my favorite album. But like this album was pretty straight. I'm not gonna lie to you.
What about it stood out to you? Like all the songs, or like was there a specific song that just made you say, yo, this is 9.5 because of this song?
It was Collective as a body of work.
Okay.
It was Like you could sit back. Like he made a lot of timeless records, like Respect the Game, timeless record. Cold Hearted Part 2, like I said, second favorite track on the album, timeless. The song, the Championship song.
That's my favorite song of the album.
That song goes. It's just, it has a lot of timeless records where you could just listen and just like, yeah, this is some bars, you know.
You don't think you're rating it too high though?
No, definitely not.
I disagree. I think it's close to 9. I think I'd give it like maybe 8.
8, right?
Yeah, just because it was an amazing album. The production was done well. I feel like sometimes when Meek raps, he always yells and it's very aggressive. And I think that's his flow and that works for him. But I thought that maybe in this album he would change his cadence a little. But he's always like yelling, like we understand what you're trying to say.
No, to be honest, he wasn't even yelling too much on the album. He wasn't yelling at all, really.
Were you listening to the same album?
Yeah, I don't think you were listening to another album. You're probably listening to one of his mixtapes or something.
Well, not yelling, but it's very aggressive, and sometimes it works because it brings the narrative he's trying to say, it brings it across. But at the same time, it was like every time I listen to Meek, it's like he's yelling.
Oh, no. It has like 2 love songs.
2.
Yeah, and then they were nice.
2.
No, Respect the Game. He wasn't yelling. He actually really wasn't yelling the whole album. I'm surprised you said that.
I just feel like something that he could improve is maybe trying to change up his flow a little bit. And I know that he has a specific kind of sound, but
I would say he did change up his flow. If you listen to Cold Hearted, that's a totally different flow. Stuck in My Ways, he was yelling.
I'm not saying all of it, but
majority of the tracks, he changed his flow for majority of the tracks.
Championships, he was yelling on, but it worked for the song. He was yelling on. I feel like he kind of was yelling on Trauma and What's Free.
Yeah, Trauma. Actually, my favorite.
Trauma, he was like Trauma. Like we get it. Like
actually, I have to retract my statement about my favorite song on the album. I think my favorite song on the album is Intro. The intro. In the intro, he's yelling, and What's Free, he's yelling. But
and
it's lit.
It's like, even in the song with Fab and Cardi B, he's yelling.
But sometimes you gotta yell, like you gotta feel the track.
I know, but that's the only reason I give it an 8, and I also give it an 8 because my hopes for this album was I kind of wanted him to tap into something different than he normally would. But
most rappers rap on the life that they had.
Exactly.
So it's a reflection. So would you want them to rap cap and?
No, that's not what I'm saying. You could have the 1-2 songs about your struggle in Philly. Like I get that. That's his life story. He's putting in the music. There's nothing wrong with that. But at least have other songs that aren't only about that.
So what would you want him to rap about?
I don't know. I just want more like versatility from him. Like with rappers like Jay-Z. Yeah, he rapped about the struggle, but he also tapped into different things. You know what I mean? Drake, I don't really want to use him as an example when talking about Meek, but like Drake, he has a few songs about him growing up in Toronto or whatever, and then he also has a little bit of dance hall songs. Like I think Meek tried to do it with that one Spanish type of sound, but it didn't really work. Tap in a little bit.
That's why I feel like his flow, like the way his flow is, he has to like rap sort of like that. That's why I would say like that's why I said features, right? If he had other features, it could smoothen it. It can complement what he was rapping about. That's what I thought.
What do you think Meek's main message was that he was trying to convey to his listeners in this album?
I think he was more trying to motivate.
He may have wanted to touch more on like the struggle. Like I know he's from the hood, like he has to talk about that, but at the same time, he's at a level right now in his career where he doesn't need to be making music about the hood anymore.
All right, so let me ask you a question. So if he would have made a whole album just about flexing and rollies and stuff, do you think people would have liked it as much?
Yeah, that's what people like today. I don't know if I would like it.
If you were to make a whole album just lit without rollies and talking about the yacht you're on, it's not
without talking about it.
No. Talking about it.
Yeah.
Talking about the yacht you have, whatever. People would get bored of that. Because first of all, the top 1% is like 1% of people that's like rich. So then people are not even gonna really relate to all the stuff you're talking about. No. But if he's talking about relatable stuff, people are gonna feel it. People who are in that situation are gonna feel it. But like if he spent a whole album just talking about his riches and stuff, I don't like. People would listen to it once and that's it.
No, especially in this generation, people are so like driven because of those things, like how much money you have, your chain. So I think the opposite of what you're saying. I think people will want to listen to it.
Okay.
Because that's the dumb generation we're in today. Look at people like Lil Uzi, Kodak Black. Some of their songs, they're just talking about the lavish lifestyle.
Yeah, but you notice if they had an album, they always have their conscious tracks. They always have something to make you feel. They always have something, substance. But see how Lil Pump always makes like lit songs?
Yeah, he's a good example.
If Lil Pump made a whole album of just songs like that, people would only listen to the album once. And there'd obviously be a couple, like 3 tracks that people keep playing, but no one would be sitting, no one would be walking in their headphones, walking to school, walking to class, listening to the Lil Pump album every day, like someone would listen to the Meek album.
But that's what people are doing now, though. That's why I'm saying, that's why there's something called mumble rappers now, because that's
they just get
the direction hip hop's going in.
It's just for the parties. It's really just for the party and for the car bangers.
Yeah. Thank you, Kyle, for helping me kind of dissect this album.
Right.
Be sure to listen to the Championship album if you have not already. No, this video is not sponsored. I just think that it was a good album and more people should listen to it. If you want to keep up with my brother over here, you can follow him on Instagram at
Kyle Ruthland.
Don't go anywhere, folks, because coming up we have the owner of the Kandle Bar coming in to talk more about her business. Stay right there. Sitting beside me is the co-founder of the Kandle Bar. In 2018, Linda and her friend Jennifer collectively decided to start their own candle company in hopes to help people relax and to relieve their stress. So, candles.
Yes.
What inspired you to start like a candle line? Because that's something different. Normally when entrepreneurs, they start up, it's either like, oh, I'm going to open a restaurant, I'm going to do my clothing line. But candles, that's really interesting.
Yeah, candles. My friend Jennifer and I, the co-founder, we just wanted something different. We always think outside the box. And one day she literally bought like a candle kit because she just wanted to make her own candles. She always bought candles and she's like, I just want to save some money and make my own. So I was at her house one time and she had the kit. She showed me, I'm like, okay, let's make this. And we made it together. Yes, we had a kit and then we figured how to make it and it was really fun to do and it was therapeutic. And that was like a turning point for us, like, hey, let's see if we can like make it into a little business, a small business for ourselves. And we showed some friends and family and it took off from there.
That's amazing. Like, that you did something based off of, because when I was reading your website, it was like you guys were going through a little bit of a stressful time,
definitely.
And then decided to turn to candles.
Yes.
That's amazing. You applied for this program,
got accepted. Entrepreneurship training program, yes.
Explain to people a little more about what that is and how that helped you develop
of course. Oh my God.
line.
So it's a youth program run by Youth Employment Services. And basically, if you just have an idea or you have a business, you started up but you're not sure which direction to take it, you just sign up with them. You give them your business plan, or if you don't have one, they help you with tools that you need to start a business, and which direction you need to go. They help you with the finances, how to write a business plan, and how to sell. So it really helps you a lot. And if you don't know where to go and you need to get started, it's the best place to go start.
I know that it's fairly a new business, and I'm aware that it is usually difficult to get any product to sell in the beginning stages.
It's difficult, yes.
What do you do at moments where you feel like your product isn't selling the way that you want it to?
Yeah, great question. Honestly, you just have to stay motivated and remember why you started this in the first place. So the reason why we started this to help people like relax and rejuvenate and meditate, and just to like disconnect from the world. So I mean, if we could just tell our story and like connect people to the brand and the core values, I think that would help us in the long run to make more sales in terms of people can relate to the product and why we're doing what we're doing. Yeah, it's not easy, but you do have to be the first investor. You're the initial investor, so you have to save some money and initially buy the things you need. So you have to save up and start yourself. And when people believe in you, then you start getting investors, but you have to be the initial investor.
At first, I thought you were a solopreneur.
Okay.
That's someone that's just, they have full ownership of the company. They do everything on their own.
Exactly.
So I was going to ask you, what are some of your responsibilities as an entrepreneur? Because you're the co-founder, right?
Right. So building a network is important to build a network. So I try to get a lot of mentors, people who have their own business already, I get a lot of mentorship from them, and I was saying the program that I did, I connected with a lot of people on different levels, finance, CEOs of different companies. So they give me great advice. So behind the scenes, you're connecting with people, and you're learning from other people.
On that note, Linda has her candles.
Yes.
Show them these beautiful candles.
This is the golden melanin.
Okay.
Warm vanilla sugar.
And where could people go to purchase this if they're interested in it?
So if you want to purchase it, you can send us a direct message on Instagram, or we have a link on our Instagram that you can go directly to our website and place an order.
Thank you for being on my show,
No
Linda.
problem.
I'm your host, JustKeekz, and you know what to do. Click the bell, hit the subscribe button, and go home because the show is over. Why are you still even here? No, I'm just kidding. I'll see you guys in the third episode. Peace.